AEW Double or Nothing plans were shut down by the venue. Plus, CM Punk is writing for AEW Collision, and WWE stars have pitched a tag team breakup. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Anarchy at the Arena was a wild affair. Wild.
It was great. It's really, really good.
All of them up.
I was super surprised to read this because they pulled it off so magnificently. But it appears that the venue tried to shut various bits down. Wrestling Observer saying AEW didn't have the preparation time as they did for Anarchy in the Arena last year, nor did the production team. T-Mobile gave the company limitations for the match, and a lot of ideas were shut down by the building because of things that happened in last year's match.
Oh, so the Arena obviously sensing that, let's not get too wild because we've still got to run the venue the next day.
Just one exploding shoe.
Just you can have one exploding shoe, and that is that. Do you know what? Despite those limitations, I think they did well to come close, maybe even top the last one.
I think they topped it.
Do you?
Yeah, personally, I enjoyed this year's a little bit more. I want to know what they said no to. Do you know what I mean? This is something that we will find out in probably 6 months' time when somebody goes on a podcast, and we'll know exactly what they said no to. But I just want to know.
We had this idea where we were going to have a pool full of crocodiles and we were going to throw fan members one by one. And T-Mobile went doodle-doodle-oo. No, you won't.
Hey! Nice jingles.
I can't wait to see to see, as you say, when they get on a podcast and tell us what happened. Because it was good times. I like the shoe bit. Shoe bit was good.
Shoe bit
Caught me off guard.
Totally. I saw some fan cam footage of it. A friend of mine posted it. He was there at the show, and it looked every bit as good live as it did on TV. I know I'm still watching it on video. You know what I mean? Like he was there, basically front row, and it looked absolutely magnificent. Nobody saw it coming, did they? It was it was great. I really enjoyed it.
When Fraser and I watched it live, I think the band playing Wild Thing throughout the first bit did my head in, but I think maybe that was the point because then the lead singer got super kicked.
Yes.
I think that was maybe that was the point all along.
It did grate a little bit, didn't it?
Oh.
Just a touch. It's a good song. It's a great song, in fact.
Like Cathedral City, it grated. And I'm
cheese,
glad...
by the way.
There
cheese,
you go. There you go.
Cheese grater.
It's Friday, baby.
Here's
Ed Sheeran. Let's stick on the AEW slant. More news from AEW's future plans from the Wrestling Observer, this time as it pertains to Collision.
Yeah, CM Punk looking like he's got a bit of a new role. The belief is that Punk and Ace Steel will be heavily involved in the creative of the show. At least they will be for Punk stuff, and the main angles and storyline on the show will revolve around him, and obviously he will have great input into that. So I don't think anybody is going to be too especially surprised about that. Punk is an incredibly creative guy. Love him or hate him, he's got an amazing mind for creative within wrestling, and he should be heavily involved. I don't know anything about Ace Steel. I'm sure he's great as well.
I'm sure he is, and I can't see a single problem with somebody who has had some issues with the company going forward being given full creative autonomy over all of their booking decisions.
That's not what they're saying here, Tom. That's not what they're saying. They are not saying that Punk is going to brother it.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Come on.
Doesn't work. So when I come out for my third promo, can't wait for 3-hour AEW collisions. It's every 20 minutes. The glory days of the Monday Night War. Bring them back, baby. It makes sense that they're going to want his input in on stuff, and because he's going to be the central point, I think therefore that will lead to him being leaned on for most things as well, given creative in other things as well.
I agree. I know, there are way worse people that you could look to creative advice for CM Punk. You know what I mean. And getting him involved with other storylines, because he does have a brilliant mind for the business. Well, whatever you think of him personally, we've all seen it. It's come out on TV many times and just blown us away.
Sponsored by Mindy's Bakery. First, this is a bit of a landmark moment this weekend. The first ever defense of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It is a new lineage, as determined by WWE. It is not the lineage of the Big Gold. It's its own thing.
Yep.
First ever title defense this weekend. Who is Seth Rollins up against?
He's no stranger to the world title picture. The Miz. So if you're there, lucky enough to have tickets to the White Plains New York show, you will see Seth Rollins taking on The Miz in a WWE World Title match. You know what, Miz, tremendous safe pair of hands. He's spot on. Can eat loss after loss after loss after loss after loss forever, and he's still a big name. I think it's good. Do you think it suggests that because often we see these matches play out on house shows, and then it leads to a program down the line on telly? Do you think that's an option?
Possibly. I don't see Miz as a serious contender for the world title, but I certainly see him as somebody that will get a shot on TV at some point. And I think this is the bit that I like about the world title. I know I did a bit of a hit piece on it when it was announced, but the fact that we're now at a point where we're going to get very regular world title matches on TV.
Oh, there are massive advantages to having it, for sure, and that's definitely one of them, and there's no better person for that than Seth Rollins.
And even at a house show, a live event, a Seth Rollins and Miz match, which is fine on its own, certainly there's more gravitas to it if it's for the world title.
Totally.
And immediately that's what they do. Also, if you're off to White Plains, you'll see the world tag champs there, the WWE Undisputed Tag Champs there, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, defending against the Viking Raiders. That's, as what you said there, maybe a little tryout for a storyline to play out on TV.
Yeah, they do it all the time, don't they? Also on the card, Cody Rhodes against Finn Balor in a White Plains street fight. What does that involve, Tom?
Well, I imagine it would involve a regular match and maybe a table.
There you go.
If it's something similar to the Newcastle street fight, or the Manchester street fight, or the Glasgow street fight, or the New York street fight, or the San Francisco street fight.
Moving on. WWE
Birmingham street fight.
Here we go. Might be planning a SmackDown star heel turn. According to Better Wrestling Experience, they are reporting that there's been internal discussion about AJ Styles being more aggressive and determined, which could indicate a heel turn. Not necessarily. We've seen it before in the past. Like Angle, even when he was like a bit of a goofy baby face, could still bring the intensity. That's how I would actually quite like to see AJ Styles, because I like AJ Styles as baby face a lot, and we've seen a fair bit of heel AJ Styles, but I've always preferred him as a babyface, and he's just come back, hasn't he? They could turn him heel, they might do, but just because you're intense, aggressive, determined, it doesn't make you a bad guy.
Especially if you're on the same brand as Roman Reigns, and Roman will want someone new to play with at some point, and you can. I think a little family business is tied up in at the moment. Might not see him defend the title until SummerSlam, but maybe AJ at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That might be all right. A new intense AJ at SummerSlam.
He's a good guy, taking nothing away from AJ Styles, but if you've not got anything for Roman just for a little bit, and you've got a B show pay-per-view, like one of the lesser pay-per-views, chuck an AJ Styles in there, you could do a lot worse than him, couldn't you?
Absolutely. I'm intrigued to see how this pans out. We might get an idea tonight on SmackDown. The 1000th day celebration of Roman Reigns, possibly a new championship, possibly AJ Styles getting involved. Who knows? Anything can happen in the next half an hour. We end on some champion-flavored news from the Wrestling Observer. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. But whilst they originally were the ones that pitched hard to become a tag team, they've also pitched to break up as a tag team and work against each other as well in a very heated program. One-on-one.
Well up for that.
I'm up for that as well.
Well up for that. Shayna as a baby face in this, but with a bit of intensity, a bit of aggression, a bit of an edge to her, against Ronda Rousey as, it's very, very easy to boo Ronda Rousey. This could make Shayna. She's had a bit of a stop-start-go of it on the main roster, I think it's fair to say, and a big win over Ronda Rousey. The bad thing about this is it's once again using the women's tag team titles to further a singles feud, which has been the ongoing problem since the introduction of those titles. We've seen it so many times, but I'm gonna give them a pass on this one because I want to see it.
Now, this is not to say that this is going to be happening immediately, because only back on Tuesday we were talking about how Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are frustrated with the lack of depth in the women's tag division, and they want to throw themselves into their role as the leaders of the tag division in the women's across the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So they want to focus on that for a while, but then once that starts to wind down, move into a feud against each other. Long-term storytelling.
What you got to plug?
What have I got to plug? Brand new classic SmackDown review tomorrow on the podcast feed. Myself and Matthew Gregg every Saturday morning, like a kid show. We get together and we watch every old episode of SmackDown. And the one we're watching tomorrow is the SmackDown before Survivor Series 2001. And it features what is known as the best SmackDown ending ever.
Oh, curious timing.
And a fire promo by Paul Heyman. One of the best Paul Heyman
Which one?
promos. It's the one where he squares up to Vince McMahon and screams at him about everything. It's Paul Heyman at his finest. We go deep into the weeds on that episode of SmackDown. It's on the podcast feed. And if you're a Patreon, you'll be able to watch the video on Saturday morning as well.
Search on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your digital media. On the YouTube channel, we've got news with Sam and Fraser tomorrow, of course. We've got a couple of lists going up. And Jack has ranked every AEW pay-per-view from worst to best. That goes up Sunday afternoon, but you can watch it right now, patreon.com/Cultaholic.
Cheeky freebie if you're an early riser. Early bird gets the list from Jack. Patreon.com/Cultaholic. And for the latest wrestling news across the weekend, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. I love you. Bye.